So in such cases, readability factor, I'm talking about readability. So putting comments is very, very important. Okay. So comments actually improve the readability of the code. When you put comments like this, when somebody is going through your code, easily they can understand. Okay. So on the top, I have written program to read and read two numbers from keyboard, perform arithmetic operations and show the results on the screen. Normally, we require author name as well, followed by date. So after that, I'm writing here, I'm declaring a variable. So this is what exactly a variable name called first name. Unlike C or C++, the first num is declared without associating any particular type of data. Okay, in the C, if you have prior experience with C, probably you write int, something like A, B, that way you define. But in this case, we don't require any strong typing. That means without associating a particular type of variable, you can declare it and you can use this. So this is called as dynamic typing. Concept is dynamic typing. So here first num equal to input, enter first number. This is going to read something from keyboard. Whatever you type, it's going to read from keyboard. And whenever it's reading and when you press enter key, the data is going to be getting transferred to first num. Okay. And whenever you enter data from keyboard, how long you can enter data? Up to how many characters we can enter? We have a keyboard buffer as well in this. You have a keyboard buffer up to some 128 characters you can enter. Before you press enter key, you can type up to 128. After that, it cannot hold any data. So keyboard buffer normally up to 128 characters. More than that, it can't hold. When you press enter key from keyboard buffer, it's going to be getting transferred to here the variable called first num. First num is a variable and this is an identifier. You need to follow certain naming convention for that. What is the naming convention? It's not convention, it's actually compulsory rule. The very first letter of the variable must be alphabet or underscore. You cannot go with any digit. If you try to declare a variable, identifier, using the very first character as a digit, in such case, it is actually error. Okay, so it has to start always with the alphabet or underscore. So here I am declaring two variables, first num and second num. So in the first num, here you get a prompt. So in response to that prompt, when you type something and press enter key, it goes into first num. Okay, similarly, when you go with the second number, same thing happens. Okay, and on the keyboard, you have only printable characters. The character which cannot be printed, you don't have here. Only printable characters we have. So what are exactly printable characters? Here is 0 to 32, 31 normally control characters. ASCII characters, these are control characters. In this you have enter key, tab key. So enter key is nothing but control M. So it is ASCII 13. Similarly, you have a backspace, ASCII 8. Okay, like that you have so many control characters from 0 to 31. Control Z, end of the file. Okay, escape key you have. All these are nothing but control characters. They control the program. As per the how it is in the program written, as per that they are going to control. Control C everyone knows. To cancel something, often we use Control C. Okay. So similarly, Control Z, when you want to create a file in the Windows from the command prompt, in such case, use it. So here 0 to 31 are called as control characters. They are non-printable characters. We don't have any symbol for them on the screen except enter key. And you cannot print that enter key. Now from 32 to 127 are actually ASCII characters which can be printed. So you have their equivalent on the keyboard. 32 to 127. 32 is space. From 32 you have other symbols. Remembering all of them is difficult, but few things you can remember. 48 to 57 on the screen and on the keyboard you have 48 to 57. They are basically digits 0 to 9. 48 ASCII is 0, 49 ASCII is 1, so 50 ASCII is 2. Like this you have ASCII numbers equivalents 48 to 57. Similarly, uppercase alphabets 65 to 90. So these are uppercase English alphabet, and 97 to 122, these are lowercase English alphabet. This is the range we use. This is the basic character set of ASCII. Okay, and using ASCII, we can work with the English or English-like languages, like German, like say French, Italian language, okay, or Spanish language, or Russian. So they use similar English alphabets, similar to English alphabets they have. Okay, but they may not be part of the primary character set. That means from 65 to 90, you may not find them. 97 to 122, you may not find them. But from 128 onwards, you can find certain symbols. So they are, using this ASCII, you can work with languages like English or English-like. Further, if you want to work with other types of languages, like we have RTL. RTL means what? Right to left languages. In the case of right to left languages, Arabic or parts Arabic and Urdu, they are written from right to left. Whereas the rest of the languages like English and our Indian languages, they are written from normally left to right. Of course, Urdu is also Indian language. It was, born here in Hyderabad, and in Lucknow, actually, it was actually parvarish. That means, that was brought up in Lucknow. So Urdu is also an Indian language, but based on the Persian language that got developed. So that is written from right to left. But most of the Indian languages are left to right languages. Okay, and Arabic and Urdu, they are right to left languages. They are also supported in this. But in the basic ASCII, Indian languages are not supported. Persian or Urdu, Arabic language, they are also not supported. Also, they don't support ideographic languages. We call it as CJK, Chinese, Japanese, Korean. They are also not supported in that. Only English or English-like are supported. So that's why for them, we have in the keyboard only English, those things. And one more thing, keyboards can be two types. One is QWERTY, and one more thing is DVOREAK. So when you talk about QWERTY, using that, it's like traditional typewriter. So if you look at typewriter, same kind of keyboard layout you find in that. But when you go with the DVOREAK, the letters are equally distributed for both the hands. Most of the time when you work with QWERTY, you have to type with the left hand. With right hand, you don't type that much. So on the left hand, there is always burden when you go with the QWERTY. But when you go with the DVOREAK layout, in such case, what happens? The keys are distributed equally, for both the hands. Okay, so you can find only ASCII characters printable on the keyboard. Fine. So these are RTL, as well as one more thing is ideographic languages. Okay, for them also, we don't find here any particular characters on the keyboard. Okay, so ideographic languages, basically Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. Okay, so they are also used widely these days. And from country to country, this may change. We use the concept localization and globalization. Suppose you build an application, depending on the local settings, it is going to work as per your language. Those features these days we have. Your computer can be localized. That means, for example, you take India, we configure with our Indian kind of thing, Indian English, with that we configure. And rest of the thing like date you take, it is actually the DD MMYY format. But same when we go to if you go to USA, it is going to be MMDD YY notation. Okay, so in that way, the culture of the country, depending on that, these things appear. Okay, so you may make a website. That website can be getting rendered depending on the country. Depending on the country culture, it can be getting rendered. So that concept is localization and globalization. For that purpose, these days, characters are Unicode. It's called a universal code or Unicode. They support more than one language. Normally, if you look at ASCII, they mostly support English or English-like languages. Or else you have to use some graphic packages. With the help of that, you can do it. Few years before, we used to work on the Photoshop kind of thing. or PageMaker. There were tools with that we used to do that, but we need to buy separate fonts for them. In the Indian languages, the fonts are get developed, and to type one particular character, more than one keyboard combination we used to use in those days. Okay, so that was special package. With the help of that, our alphabets could be printed. But these days, it is actually ideographic languages. The Unicode, actually, they are Unicode. So using that, we can handle any kind of data. It can be any language. Almost all the languages now, they are included in the Unicode. Okay, so the characters are going to be Unicode these days. And whenever you look at string, string is nothing but group of characters which you enclose in double quotes or in single quote. Okay, whatever data you enter from keyboard is going to be the string format. And in this example, I'm converting the string into number. I'm converting string into number. Then after that, I do here, print, I'm printing here in this case, print first num, comma, type of first num, similarly print fn, comma, type of fn. So it's going to be printing those things. Now suppose you have to print the result. In such case, I can declare another variable. I can call this as a result, followed by here, I can write fn plus sn. Here I'm trying to perform an arithmetic operation. This is an arithmetic operation. It is a binary operator plus. It is having here two operands. One is fn, other one is sn. So using that, I'm performing here an arithmetic operation. Then I can print it. Print, followed by here, result. Print is what? This is a function. Using that, I'm printing the result. Result is what exactly? Is first num, second num, I'm printing it. But why these brackets, why this try and except are required? To handle runtime errors. When we have to handle runtime errors, we require try and except blocks. You're trying to execute some piece of code here due to some reason. If it is unable to do, in that case, what happens normally? The program is going to crash. If program is crashing, you need to restart everything. Okay, to avoid such crash, because here suppose you entered only ABC, the string is not containing digits. Apart from digits, it may contain some alphabets, or you enter only alphabets. In such case, what happens? It can't convert into number. Okay, the int function can convert a string if it is containing only digits in that. If the string is made with only digits, in such case it can convert, otherwise it can't convert. Okay, int requires here base 10 characters only in that. Base 10 means what? It can have any character from 0 to 9. Need not be 1, it can be more than 1 also. You can create a string with only digits that can be converted to integer, otherwise it can't convert. Suppose you entered ABC. Due to that, what happens? It is trying to convert. When it can't convert, what happens? It's going to be crashing there. It crashes. Crashing meaning is what? What to do? It is going to be a confusion. Further, it can't go ahead. Program comes to grinding halt. To avoid such thing, what we do? We use here try and except block. So using try, you try to execute piece of code here. If it is successfully getting executed, no problem. But when it comes to some exceptions are nothing but runtime errors. That cannot be, such errors we don't get when we try to compile. And one more thing, Python is not a compiler. It is actually an interpreter. Okay. So the difference between compiler and interpreter is like we have a compiler and we have an interpreter. Okay. Suppose you take a compiler, you can use hash to put comment. Compiler takes source code, converts everything into object code or exe file. So once that is converted, no longer you require the compiler. So this is with the compilation process. You have source code. That source code you write in some high-level language like Java, C++, C#, or like say basic language, not basic, like C language. You take them, write code, then you compile. Syntactically, if something is wrong or semantically something is wrong, in such cases, it can't convert code. It complains about the errors. In the IDE, you get errors. So when you rectify that and when you again compile, that's getting successfully compiled. So what you get in such cases, you get object files as well as exe files. Okay. So exe file is nothing but self-loading program. That is, you create a program, and automatically it can load into memory. Otherwise, if it's simply object code, you require linkers. With the help of the linker, you can link various things and you are going to put that into computer memory. Okay, once that is moved into computer memory, what happens? It starts executing. Okay, and one more concept what we use is process. What is basically process? When you launch an application, that is called as a process. Application is basically going to contain only static data, but your application contains actually dynamic data as well. When you save on the disk, installation is nothing but saving on the disk. You install an application in a computer. So that is basically a program you have saved, an application which is saved on the computer. When you launch it, it becomes actually process. That's called as a process. So once you launch application, the process has data. Okay. So when you launch a process, the operating system is going to allocate some memory for it. It is going to allocate memory. So in that memory, you have the variables, then code, the heap area, as well as stack area. For that, it's going to allocate some space. It is totally private space for the application. Okay, no other application can interfere with that code in normal cases. But when you go with pointer concept in the C language, using pointers, anywhere in the memory you can go and you can access that data. So that's a bad thing with pointers. If it is not used properly, it can access any memory location in the C language. That's really not good. So using that concept, viruses and worms kind of thing, they develop. Okay. So of course, pointers are really beautiful. If you manage them properly, if you use them properly, you get wonderful results with that. But when you use them in the improper way, there can be bad effects. So normally an application is going to be having its own private space. Other applications cannot interact directly with it. But if you use pointers kind of thing, you can access. That means you can access and you can modify the application. Some data or some code when you, modify, what happens in such cases, it cannot perform well. Okay, so, here, whenever you talk about application is saved on the disk, whereas process is, when you launch application, in such cases, process gets created. Whatever kind of application it may be, basically, it's an application installed in your computer, and when you move that into memory, when you start working with that, that is called as here a process. Okay, it's called as process. When you create a process, the process is going to allocate, the OS is going to allocate for the process certain memory. Then similarly, apart from a memory for storing data, for storing its code, and similarly, whenever your calling functions, they come in the last in first out, it's called a stack. The stack is allocated, as well as heap is allocated. Heap is for dynamic variables. Your application may be creating variables as and when needed. So in such cases, you may use the heap area. So for the process, it gets created. Okay. So here, in this case, what exactly is happening? The process may crash. When process is getting crashed, what happens further? It cannot go ahead. To avoid such things, we use here try catch block. So using try and except block, except and catch are interchangeable here. So you're trying to execute some piece of code here. Due to some reason, if you cannot execute it, it comes to except and prints actually here what is the reason why it could not do. And you can go here with the finally. Finally is a last block in this. This is called a block here. And Python is indentation based. You cannot move in this block cursor to here. If you put here, it's error. You need to move to right side only. This is called indentation. And Python does not use any semicolon in the end of the statement, nor it uses any comma at the end of the statement. The statement is going to be ended only by pressing enter key. So this is actually a physical line. The end of the statement is using actually enter key. So this is a physical line, not logical. In the C language, it's logical. When you use semicolon, it is going to be end of the line. But here, it is actually pressing enter key makes cursor moving into next line. So that is going to be marked as a line. Okay. And here, when you have blocks, see, this is not having it's nothing but main block. In the main block, it can be completely in the left. But after that, I'm creating another block. Okay. A few statements when I want to execute, in such case, I can call this as a block. And except is another block. Finally, can be another block. So these are called a group of statements together I'm writing and executing like one unit of code. So this you can think as a block. It's a block. and except is a block, final is a block. Now in such cases, whenever you declare a block and following code in the block has to be moved towards right side. Unlike C language, we don't use any curly brackets here. We are not going to use any curly brackets. Okay, because it is actually the block is based on the indentation in the Python. Python is a language. The code is going to be based on the indentation. So here, after starting try block, I'm moving by one tab space. Then it is getting printed here. In the same manner with finally also. I can print here end of the program. Here I print. So what happens? It is trying to execute this code. Due to any reason, if code is not getting executed, it's going to report error here. Similarly, I mean, if the code is getting executed, this is fine, but irrespective of the code successfully getting executed or code is failing, it comes to finally block. In the finally block, always it prints it. Okay, irrespective of the outcome, whether successfully code is getting executed or it's having any problem, irrespective of those conditions, what is happening here? The control is coming into finally block and it's getting printed here. This is here end of the program. Okay, so this is here a Python program. Using this, I'm trying to print here the sum of the two numbers. Those two numbers I'm going to input. Now let me come to the command prompt. From command prompt, I can execute it. Just go to G drive. Then here in this, I type cd followed by Python samples. There's a folder I created. Okay, Python samples. In the samples, there are few programs already written. The first one is 1.py, first.py, second.py. But this program name is what here? Second.py. I want to execute this. To execute it from command prompt, I need to type here Python followed by second.py. Unlike Linux, even the commands are not case sensitive in Windows. You can go with uppercase or you can go with lowercase. Okay, but Python language is case sensitive. Inside that Python program, whatever you write, it's going to be case sensitive. It does differentiate between uppercase and lowercase. Now let me run this here. It says enter first number, enter 34, enter 23. It is printing the result as 57. And in this process, 34 initially it is what type of data? String, but after converting, it becomes integer. Okay, and here we are printing end of the program. Let us run one more program in this. I enter some 34, but here I enter some SD. When I press here enter key, what is happening here? It is invalid numeric data, end of the program. So without crashing this application, we could able to run now. Okay, suppose you don't have this exception, what happens? See, let me comment this and see here what happens when you don't have the exception handling mechanism. Like I don't have any try catch block. In that case, what happens? See, I'm going to comment this part. So here also I comment this. I need to move in such cases everything to the left. Okay, it should be to the left completely. This also must be to the left. And here also this is going to be to the left side. In this manner, trying to make it. I move like this here. And here also in the same manner, I put it. Okay, come to this point now. Everything is fine. I try to execute this piece of code now. I come to this point, then just execute this. I enter in number 4, enter number 3. This is working fine. It's printing it as 7. But suppose, okay, suppose you have here something like 5. The next thing is some F. In such case, it's going to be error for us. It is coming into grinding halt. You can see here, SN equal to int second num. It's unable to convert second number because you have F in that. F is not a digit in the given decimal number system. Since it's not part of actually decimal number system, here it is unable to convert F to a number. Okay, so therefore it is error. But one more thing, if you observe what's happening here, even though you enter everything correct, still it's showing there invalid numeric data. Because we are not using any try catch block and we are leaving the statement as it is. We are leaving the statement as it is. Because of that, it is printing like invalid data. So let me comment this and try to run here. I'm commenting and trying to run this here. So once again, I try to run this here. I enter a number 5, then enter number 7. Now, in such case, you cannot get invalid numeric data. Okay, I'm not getting it as invalid numeric data. Reason, I commented that. Once again, I try to run this here. I enter 4 followed by some F this time. This is error now. Okay, what it's saying here, invalid literal for INT with base 10. In the base 10 system, we don't have the RF symbol. In the hexadecimal you have, but in the base 10, we don't have it. In the base 10, you have only digits from 0 to 9. Okay, so therefore, it's unable to convert. That's why it is crashing. Application is crashing in such cases. Okay, so what you need to do to overcome that problem, you have to go with the try-catch block. In such case, you don't face problem. This is the necessity of the try-catch block. Okay, go this way. And now I'm putting everything in the try-catch block. Then I uncomment here, except port as well. Remove this. Also, finally block, irrespective of the outcome of the program. If you want to print something at the end of the program, you can put this. I have written this as here, end of the program. So now how this works, see, when you compare with the earlier one, what happens, see here. 6 I entered, 3 I entered, everything is working fine here. I go this now, again, enter some, sorry. Okay, enter some here, 7. Next thing is here some D I enter. In such case, it is what? Invalid numeric data. And at last, it's coming to end of the program. So like this, you can handle the runtime errors. Whenever you go with the try, except, and finally, what happens? Try is going to execute some piece of code. If it is having any problem, if it cannot execute code, in such case, it comes to accept and reports that error. Okay, because code could not be handled here by the Python interpreter. It's unable to understand whatever instructions we gave. Okay, because there is known command to, it's not a known command to it. Therefore, what happens? It cannot execute. Next thing is what here? Here it comes to accept part, then it's trying to print in such cases. Okay, it's coming to accept, and in the accept, it prints what's the reason why it could not do. And finally, is going to print this end of the program. Irrespective of this outcome, we come to this, finally block, end of the program, it's going to print like this. So this program is basically taking two numbers, adding them, and showing the result for us. Okay, so it's going to print finally this particular thing. End of the program, it's printing for us. This is to add two numbers and print on the screen. For that purpose, we use. And one more thing in this, we use here type. So using type, you can find here what type of data it belongs to. So first num is a string type of data. But here what is happening, if you go with the fn int first num, it is converting it to integer. That's why next time it is printing as here class int. If you see, we are trying to print type of both the things. Print first num, type first num, then print fn, type fn. So it's giving you the type as here int. In the first case, it's a string. In the next case, it is actually a number. Like this, we are converting using type function. Type function can can print the type of the data. And using int function, I'm converting the string into number. Similarly, it is converting into second num. Okay. Now, one more thing, similar to this, you have here a float. Using float, you can convert to floating type of data. Okay, whenever we work with numbers, we have two types of numbers. One is what? Absolute numbers. Other one is approximate. Okay, so absolute are nothing but, measuring quantities, exactly what you measure. Something like, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. In that manner, when you use, they can be absolute, but approximate can be in such cases like 11.2, 22 by 7. Such numbers can be approximate. So absolute can be integer data and approximate can be float type of data. Like that, we handle the data. Okay, in the numeric type, you have one is int, other one is float type of data. And whenever you have group of characters put in single quote or in double quote, that is a string type of data. Apart from this, you have a true or false value. So true means it's a Boolean type of data. It can be a true value or it can be false value. There are going to be two states when you work with the Boolean. Apart from that, you have GUIDs or UUIDs. UUID meaning is what? Universal Unique Identifier, date-time data. Okay, so this is basically primitive type of data. They are inbuilt. And apart from that, we have list, dictionary, tuple, then one more thing is set. Those also we have. So in this program, we have entered two numbers. Then we are printing the result. Now, next thing here, what I do, I add here, I enter two numbers. I want to perform all arithmetic operations. Whatever are supported in that, I want to perform that. Here itself, we can do it. Now, this time, I don't print the type, but just I want to show all the arithmetic operation results. Okay, so here, I put in this way, the result I'm going to put in this manner. This is also a comment. Using hash key, we can comment. Now we have taken the two numbers, Fn and Sn. Let me print in this case the result using print function. Print, then followed by here, I'll go this way. It is first, I'll go with the Fn plus Sn. This is an arithmetic operation which involves here two operands. That's why we call plus as a binary operation or binary operator it is. Plus is an operator you are putting in between Fn and Sn. This is called as infix notation. It is called as infix notation. So in that you put the operator in between the two operands. So this is a infix notation. Sometimes you write in this way, you put plus followed by Fn and Sn. So this is called as here prefix notation. We call this as prefix. Similarly, you may write like this Fn and next thing is Sn followed by we put here plus. So this is what here postfix notation. Okay, few languages support this kind of prefix and postfix. When you work with like Lisp kind of thing, you get such kind of notations. But normally imperative languages like Java, C#, C++, Python. Python is a imperative language. Okay, it's not a functional programming language. Functional programming language, nothing to do with the writing functions. Okay, so the concept is different. Functional programming language is different. And all this is nothing but imperative languages. Imperative language, always they change the state of the machine. Machine is nothing but computer. In this, you are running a program. The program can be thought as a virtual machine. So in that, with every instruction, data in that you are going to change. So the state of the program is going to change, or state of the machine is going to change in the imperative languages. That will not happen in the, when you go with the functional programming languages. So this is exactly what I am trying to print the sum of two numbers, Fn plus Sn. It's printing here. It's going to print the sum. I just want to put here sum equal to, it's printing like this. Yeah, somebody is also saying something. Okay. In the next case, what I do, I can write in this manner, print, then followed by, I write difference. Difference equal to, I can write in this manner. I go here, then try to write here, Fn minus Sn. This is difference. So subtraction operation I do here. The next thing here, it is.
So this one is you already made a decision to use the streaming, but this is the kind of backup. Yeah, we will. I think we will try also.
So here I'm multiplying it. Somebody is talking. Okay, please mute your this one. Mute your microphone, please. So next thing here, it is a quotient. So in such case, I can go with the slash. Okay. And one more thing, I go again with the print statement here. I just want to go for integer division. Integer division. In such cases, I need to use here // Okay, similarly, I want to go for exponent. I would like to go with exponent. So for that purpose, I can use here exponent equal to.
What do you find that the only thing we are moving to QA and you will get
This one we put. And one more thing here, in this case, I want to find here remainder. I'll go with the remainder. Then here in this case, fn percent sn. Like this, I'm trying to use this. Okay, it has to print all the things like sum, difference, product, quotient, integer division, exponent, and remainder. All these are nothing but arithmetic operators. Plus is an arithmetic operator, minus, then multiplication is basically for multiplying things, and slash is for dividing one number with another number. This can throw error sometimes whenever you try to divide the first number with 0. So that can be error. It is basically what you cannot divide a number with 0. So it is a division by zero exception. And this is here integer division. This is going to give only integer. And when you go with this, it is here exponent. That means when you take fn and when you raise it sn times, whatever result you get is going to be getting printed. And this is going to give us remainder. Now let us try to run this. What do we get? See. I go with this, then try to enter here some number like 7, followed by I enter here 3. So it is showing this result for us. Okay, sum is 10, difference is 4, product is 21, quotient is 2.333. Up to how many digits we have? Up to 15 digits we have. So this is a double precision. This is here what? Double precision data. Then integer division is going to give us 2 only. Because when you divide 7 with 3, how many times it is? Quotient is 2. 3 2s are 7, 3 2s are 6, and remainder is 1 in such cases. Okay, exponent if you take, it's 343. When you raise 7 3 times, 7 multiplied by 7 is going to give you 49. Again, when you multiply with 7, it's going to be 343. So this is here, you are basically cube. This is cube of the 7 is 343. Similarly, remainder is 1, because when you divide 7 with 3, 3, 2, 6, and the remainder is 1. So like this, you have the operators. These are called as arithmetic operators. Python supports this many arithmetic operators. Okay, so this many arithmetic operators you have. But when you work with Python, sometimes if you try to multiply an integer with a number, floating point number, that may not give result. Sometimes you don't get. So you need to see in what case that's happening. Okay, but here what we do, we enter 2 numbers, then we are trying to print we are trying to perform arithmetic operations and printing here result. Okay, sum we are getting, difference we are getting, product we are getting, quotient we are getting, integer division result we are getting, then exponent as well we are getting here, remainder also we get in this case. So like this we performed here 7 different arithmetic operations and we have shown the result. These are the arithmetic operators available and Python supports these. And most of them are actually what type of operators? They are binary operators. Okay, because they need here 2 operands. Fn is an operand, Sn is an operand. And apart from this, you have one more type of operand called ternary operator. So it is something similar to if condition. Okay, suppose I want to print here whether first number is greater than or equal to second number. I want to print. So here write f greater than gt then s. That means what here? First number greater than or greater than second. I'm writing like this equal to. Now I can compare here first number with the second number. Like this I put. So this is what exactly. What is the? It is fn greater than here sn. I need to put like this. So this is a relational operation. Fn is the left side operand, Sn is the right side operand, and you are comparing both the things using greater than, and this is a relational operator. Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. These are called as here relational operators. You can establish a relation between the two sides of the expression. It is in fact called as inequation because in this case it's an inequation. Fn greater than, here Sn we have written. So if Fn is greater than Sn, in such case this returns a true value, otherwise it's going to be false. Let us print it. Go with the print, followed by here, okay, FGTS, that means F greater than first greater than second, followed by here type, then we put FGTS. Okay, initially what we need to get in such cases, we have to get true or false, depending on the numbers. If Fn is 10, Sn is 2, in such case that is true, but if Fn is 2 and Sn is 10, in such case it's false. So here like this, what we do, we are trying to find here, the true or false value with this, whether Fn is greater than Sn, you can find here. So this is a relational operation we do in this. Now once again, let me run here and show the result. Enter 5, then enter 2. What it says here, it is printing true, followed by class
You're now
bool.
connected to Folkestone 1000.
It's a Boolean type of data. When you go with that, it is here Boolean type of data. Okay, it is returning for us a true value in this case, because the first number is how much I entered 5 and second number is 2. So therefore, it is returning in this case a value as true here because condition is getting satisfied. So this is a, relational operation I perform. So it is returning in this case a true value for me. So it is returning a true value now in this. In the same manner, if you write here FLT followed by S, in such case, if you put here Fn less than Sn, sorry, Fn, this is Fn less than Sn, it may print here this one as false. Either first one is false or second one is false. Like that, we are going to print here. Write this as here FLTS. Okay, LT is more, it's less than, GT is greater than. Like that, I coined the variable here. Now try to run this here. Enter first number like 5, again I enter 2. So what it says in this case, in the first case it is true, in the second case it is false, because second condition is not getting satisfied. So using the relational operators, you can find some kind of relation between them. Whether that relation is returning a true value or false value, you can find. Okay, this is here a relational operator. Greater than, we have written, and in this case, less than. Sometimes even you can go with the less than or equal as well. Greater than or equal to also can be written. Okay, here also I try to put. Then in this case now, I go with this, then enter 5, and next time I enter 2. So here also same thing, 5 is greater than 2. Okay, even if you enter the left side 5, so right side 5, what happens? It is going, both of them are going to be returning true in such cases. Now what happened here? First number is 5, second number is 2. So therefore, first number is greater than 2, therefore it is true. But in the second condition, first number is not less than 2, therefore it is false here. This is a condition. This should return a true value when Fn is less than or equal to Sn. But suppose here we run this again and try to enter both numbers same. Go with the 5 and similarly this also 5. What happens? In such case, both of them are going to be returning true value. Okay, when you compare here, first number is 5, second number is 5. The relation is what between them? Greater than or equal to. 5 is equal to 5, that is true. Similarly, when you go with the Fn less than or equal to Sn, Fn is 5, Sn is also 5 here, they are equal. So that's why both of them are returning here true value for us. Okay, like this, you can get the Boolean value using relational operations. And relational operations as well as the logical operations we use together. Logical operators you have, logical AND, logical OR, and logical NOT. Okay, so you can combine them and you can form a compound statement So totally that can be returning a true value or that can be returning a false value. So for that purpose, let us write here some other program. With that, let us see. So this program is basically taking two numbers and adding the result, finding difference, finding product, finding quotient. It's even performing the integer division, and it's actually first number is here raised to how many times, here how many times, second number is given, that many times it's raised, and it can be square, cube, or it can be quadrant value you get, or it may be 5 times or 6 times, whatever you give, that many times it's getting raised. Okay, power of the given number we are finding in such cases. Okay, next is what here remainder. This is giving you when you divide the first number with second number, what remainder you are getting, it's showing. Okay, so but in the line number 24, we have written, we are comparing first number greater than or equal to second number. That is returning in that case, depending on the values you entered. Okay, if F1 is greater than Sn or equal to Sn, in that case, it returns true value. And here also, the second one, if it is less than or equal to Sn, in that case, it returns a true value. The first case, if it is greater, in the second case, if it's less than, it's going to be returning appropriate values. Okay, like this, we have written code. At the end, we are printing what is the value of this as well as what is the type of it. We print like this here. So we use in this a relational operator like greater than or equal to and less than or equal to. You have these operators. These are called as relational operators. They can establish a relation between the two sides of the given expression. So this you can think as an expression. And this is also called as a statement here. So it's an expression as well as a statement. So what happens in such cases? This can be returning a true or a false value, depending on the values you have. Now let me show you one example very quickly. In such case, what I do, I enter marks for 3 subjects. Whether the candidate is passing or failing in that, I want to find. So let me create here some third program. I want to write this as here third.py. So all Python programs should have an extension .py. Okay, so put like this here, then write here program to find result based on the input marks. Like this, we write. Second thing is criteria. A student passes in exam. Okay, if in every subject, if the student gets a minimum of 40 marks, this is the criteria. It can be n number of subjects, but depending on the minimum number of marks in each subject. In every subject, so in each subject, I write ESCH. So one should get a minimum of 40 marks. In such case, it can be pass. So very first thing is what we need to first of all take input. Right here, subject 1. This equal to here, write input, enter, like subject 1 marks. Similarly, we go here, write then this is what subject 1 I should write, or just short notation SUB1 you can take. Similarly, we'll go with this, then put again subject 2, and this is here sub 2 marks. Go with this, then here type subject 3, input subject 3 marks. We are going to input 3 subjects. Then after that, I just write in this way result equal to, you can write it as subject 1 greater than or equal to 40, and you need to go with the AND operator, and subject 2 greater than or equal to 40, and go with the subject 3 greater than or equal to 40, like this. Here we use the AND operator. It's a logical AND. In the electronics also, if you have electronics background, probably you come across this AND gate. So it is something similar to that. So here, when all the inputs are giving true value, the result is going to be true. That means it's going to be pass. Okay, otherwise it's going to be fail. This is going to give you only result for us. Result equal to either true or false we get. But that is meaningless for us. Okay, that's meaningless. So in such cases, what we can do, we can use a ternary operator called if condition. That is what we do here. I can go with the if, then. Okay, here I need to write in the other way. I put here, then in the Python, this is, here I write pass. Okay, if subject 1 greater than or equal to 40 and subject 2 greater than or equal to 40 and subject 3 greater than or equal to 40, else here it will be fail. Like this I can write. So this is a ternary operator. This type of operator you find in the C language as well, that is called as question mark operator. In all languages like JavaScript it supports, Angular supports, React.js supports it, Java supports, C++ supports, C supports, even PHP supports this. So this is a ternary operator. But in the Python, we write like this. So first, what result you want, what you want to return upon meeting this condition here. If this condition is returning true, you need to send pass here. Otherwise, you have to send fail into this variable. We are assigning either pass value or fail value depending on the marks in this. Okay, but there is one problem in this. Straight away you cannot write because subject 1 is what type of data? It is string type of data. You need to convert that into integer. So here you can write in this manner, go with the try. Okay, here itself, now try to do it. Before you do anything, write subject 1 equal to, use here int function. With that you do it. Subject 1 you put. In the same manner, we need to go with the subject 2. This is equal to here input. Again, subject 2 this is. Okay. In the same manner, we go with the subject 3. This is equal to here int. Sorry, it's not input, int that is. So this is here subject 3. Like this, you are converting the given number into integers. It is int. Okay. Now, after this, I should print the result. Print. The result is, followed by, I go with the question mark, then print here result. Like this, I can do. So in the next step, I have to have here a except block. Then in this, you can print invalid numeric data. If something you enter wrong, it's going to be saying end of the, invalid numeric data. Then at the end, we write here finally. In such case, we try to print end of the program. Not required, but if you put, it's better, end of the program. Okay, so this program should read the numbers, should convert them into here integers. Okay, then after that, they should be compared with the value 40. If all of they are greater than or equal to 40 in every subject, if you have 40 or more than 40 marks, in such case, the result must be pass, otherwise it has to be fail. This is called as a ternary operator in the Python language. Okay, and here you may be wondering how it is possible. Initially, we are making this as a string type of data. Later on, what you are doing, you are trying to assign an integer to string. Okay, Python is actually dynamically typed language. Whenever you assign a particular type of data, at the time, type will be inferred. Now, in such cases, what will happen? Type is going to be getting changed for this. Type is going to be getting changed in this case. This is not supported in any other language, like take C++, C language, even in JavaScript, it does not support. Once you associate a particular type of data to a variable, in such case, what happens? You cannot change the type of data in that. So that is here, that is called as basically strict typing. Once you associate some type with a variable, you cannot modify, you cannot change. But in this case, what I do, I'm changing the type of the data as well. Okay, this is a loosely typed language as well as not a strongly and strictly typed language here. It's a loosely typed language. It's not at all strongly typed language, and it's not strictly typed language. Okay, whatever data you want to assign to a variable, you can assign. It's the responsibility of programmer to write clean and better code. Okay, that liberty we have in the Python language. That can be sometimes a pro as well as a con. Okay, it depends on the programmer, how the programmer is using all this, depends on the programmer much. So most of the responsibility is given to programmer. A lot of freedom is given. So at the same time, you have responsibility. So responsibility and freedom, they go hand in hand. If you want to be free, you need to be more responsible. Okay, so that way programmer has a lot of freedom. At the same time, they have a lot of responsibility as well. Now in this, what is happening? I enter some data, then I'm converting that into 3 different subjects. After that, I'm trying to find here result using here the ternary operator. This is here a ternary operator in the Python. If you look at other languages, it is going to be different, like question mark we use in the JavaScript. With that, you can do same thing. And this is using here 3 operands. First one is parse, first operand, and this you can think as a second operand here, and this is going to be third operand. Like that, this uses here 3 operators. Sorry, 3 operands. It's a ternary operator. Okay, but earlier we have seen we are adding 2 numbers. In that case, plus you have, so first number and second number. We are adding them. That was actually binary operator, plus, minus, multiplication, division, integer division, remainder, exponentiation. So all they are nothing but binary operators. Okay, but here this is a ternary operator. If is a ternary operator, nothing to do with the if condition. If you have a control statement in the Python, but it is not actually that construct here. You can only have one result in this case. So pass or fail you can have here, and whenever this condition is met, you can have only one statement. You cannot have multiple statements. But normal if condition you take, you can put multiple statements under if condition. When condition is returning true, in such case you can have multiple statements. Similarly, when it is else, in that case also you can have multiple statements. But here you can have only one statement, that is resulting some data. Upon meeting this condition, we are sending a pass, otherwise we are sending fail to this particular variable. Now try to run this here. Go to this, then here type Python followed by second.py. It's third, I think, third.py. This should give us the required result. Enter marks in first subject. I entered 99, then I entered 99. One more, I enter 90. In such case, what is happening? The result is pass. We are getting the result, it is pass. Now, once again, I enter here 99, then 99. But in the third subject, I enter only 39. In such case, result is fail. Because in one of the subjects, marks are less than 40. So therefore, result is fail. Like this is working for us. So what we expected, it is giving us the required result for us. Similarly, if you try to enter some invalid data, like 56 I entered, then I entered SD. Okay, then go with the 45. It says here, invalid numeric data. SD, S and D, they are not part of the decimal digits. So therefore, it is here a exception. It can't convert SD into a number. Therefore, it is coming into catch block, and subsequently you are coming to end of the program. Okay, so like this program is written. Here we have 3 numbers input, but whenever you input here, it's going to be string data that you need to convert into number here using int. Int function, this can convert the given number into given string into number. So we obtained here 3 numbers. Then we are comparing with this, whether in each subject we have greater than or equal to 40 marks or not. If you have greater than or equal to 40 marks in every subject, this expression is going to be returning a true value. Otherwise, it's going to be returning false value. So if it is returning true, what exactly we do? We are going to assign pass value to result. Otherwise, we assign fail value to result. So like this, we have seen today few arithmetic operators as well as relational operator. Anyone has any questions?